All right, in this video, I'm going to show you what we're using right now for competition analysis, and we daisy chain the competition analysis with our ads analysis. Now, the specific prompt that I'm using Manus. I like Manus because it works fast, and it's got a direct line to Facebook. So when I ask it about Facebook ads, I usually get a pretty good answer because Facebook owns Manus. Now, that might change. They're having a little issue. You can read about it, but so we're going to use our example site again. It's what you can use this prompt. Just, I own Your Town Self-Storage. Research the top 10 competitors within the 5-mile radius of my market. Draft a comparative analysis with ideas on the unique selling points, my property and competition. Please ask questions if needed. Location. I want to give it the address because I don't want it to guess. And then the marketing plan. Search the Google Ads library and the Facebook Ads library. TikTok and Instagram libraries provide a competitive ad landscape. Now, TikTok, it has a little bit of issue with, but if you know anything about Appify has some TikTok scraper you can use, and you can use Appify within your Claude Code or your Codex, whatever you're using. And this ties right in. This is a skill that we built in our Claude Code that runs once a month for our clients. It'll trigger Manus. Manus has an API. You give that API to Claude Code, it'll trigger Manus, it'll trigger this prompt. It will find what's a different prompt. This is the first time. Update prompt is a little different. But then Manus will go out and it'll find all this stuff. Now, part of the reason I use Manus is because it will just go do it because I told it exactly what I wanted. If I wanted to build a skill, I did build a skill like this for Claude, but Manus already does it. So I would just rather pay Manus. So Manus does it, it comes back, and what it gives you, it'll search all these sites. It'll open up a window. It'll look at the site if it can't find the pricing, promotions, anything like that. And then it'll come back with this, a facility summary, ad landscape, and then it's got an aggregate one. So you get all of these are in this file you can download. And then you can click on the individual files and you can see subject property, right? I gave it a subject. This is not a real property. It's just something I made up. Competitor summary, pulled down exactly what was in the area. Unit pricing, pull down all the units and promotions. Now, is this perfect? No. Is there some mess up? Yes. Do I need it perfect? No, I don't. I need an idea. I need an idea where I'm sitting in the market and what my competition is presenting for specials. Ad landscape. So who's running ads? So it goes to the Google Transparency Center, pulls in Google Ad Transparency for these different, they're running 19 ads. These guys are running, U-Store's running 2 ads, not a big ad push in the area. Now it goes to budget scenario. So what do you think? A conservative launch, 15. It's always, this is the funny part. It doesn't take into consideration storage budget. So you got to go with what you have, right? Tells you what to spend and what to use. Now, Performance Max is something that I don't use for storage. So I usually skip that. And then a recommended use, and then it gives you split test. One thing I tell all my customers, you always want to split test. No matter whether even if you have an ad that's running really good, split test it. Test a new headline, test a new photo, test an old headline that worked really good with a new photo. You always have to split test, right? So we'll take this and I'll download it. And what I have in my AI operating system is I have a folder for each one of my clients. So I'll take that downloaded folder and I'll drop it into here. All right. So then you're going to right click on it. You're going to copy the path and we're going to even close this out and we can close this. All right. So we're going to paste it in here and we're going to say, please review the attached Excel file for our Your Town Self-Storage client and come up with a plan to create ads in Google and for Meta so that we can upload it directly. Just plan it out. Don't upload anything. There we go. So just to make sure that it doesn't go crazy, we'll change this to plan. So it's going to take the information that we gave it and it's going to plan it out. And then you're going to see that I'm going to invoke a couple other skills that are going to actually create the entire ad campaign. So it'll create the headlines, it'll create the creatives. So what we've done here is we've got kie.ai, it's kie.ai. which allows you to use Nano Banana. It allows you to use a couple of the other ones. And we've also got Canva put in here, but it will allow us to make the creatives for the AI or for the campaign along with the text. So I'll probably pause this video, speed it up so you don't have to watch Claude work, but this is the way it would work. So it just says, I'm reviewing the Excel file and I'm going to check what skills you have for generating upload or ad campaigns. And we already have on skills. You'll see it here pop up real quick. And you can actually do this in Manus. You can have Manus make the creatives and anything, but then you have to transfer it, at least in the way we do it, you'd have to transfer it into your Claude Code. And I would just rather have Claude do it. It can read the instructions Manus gave it and create the ads. And then it's here. And then we've got, if you have an MCC account, a master ads account, and if you have a meta app built, then you can, see this, here's the self-storage ad agent skill. So we've created an ad agent for self-storage and we got meta ad skill here. So these are two skills that we have in our operating system that will create the ads for us. And then we have the API we've been approved for the Google Ads API. Now, if you have a master account, you can apply for the Google Ads API. That allows you to directly upload your ads from Claude to Google Ads. And then what we'll do on a weekly basis is we'll have Claude go in using the Ads API and review the ads. And that I have someone on staff who actually reviews what Claude thinks about the ads. Because again, you want human in the loop for everything. You don't want this stuff taken over right away. It's getting better, but you can't go to a client and say, hey, Claude told me to do it. But you can do this for yourself. Like an ads account is free. The Google Ads API, if they give you access to it, is free. You can do this. Something like this, you're going to need the $100 clone, man. You're not going to be able to do this with $20. You're going to be tearing your hair out because you're going to burn through credits. Great. Now you see it says, I have enough context now. Excel has competitive added pricing, 19 ads from Watertown, all this. So it's going to create the ads plan. And for Meta, you have to create an app for Meta, get it approved, and then you'll get access to upload for Meta and Instagram as well. So it's pretty sweet. So this is saying a budget scenario, they recommended $3,000. I'm going to go conservative because it's storage and it does the split for you. And it's going to go budget 19, retargeting creatives. Yeah, perfect. Upload format. It's going to go, what output format should we plan to produce? We're going to go meta. No, we're not going to use the MCP ads editor. We're going to use API directly. One thing Claude does is it always defaults to an MCP, and the MCP, it doesn't always work. So if you're in the CLI, which we're in, or you're in Claude Code, just tell it to use the APIs that you've already plugged in. State, usually town, Sydney, does it live in Google Ads? Yeah. We're going to put that in. Pricing and offer, no discount, flat rate, match competitor. So that's the other thing. If you're running ads, you want to do an ad that's going to match your competitor. And then submit the answers, and Claude's going to do its thing based on how we've trained it. Now, again, I have to emphasize, I'm not just blanketly asking Claude to do this. We've already trained it. We've built the skills. So we've gone through a process with Claude saying, yes, I like this, do this. This is the way. Now I've got the output the way I want it. And I told it create the skill so that we can do that again. On top of that, you had your cron. So you just tell, okay, every week on Thursday, go into AdWords. So we've got a skill that will go into GA4, we'll go into Google Search Console, we'll go into GTM, and go into AdWords and aggregate all that data. That's one of the coolest things about AI is it will aggregate all that data and find relationships between that data that you've never seen before. And it helps you optimize your own stuff. It'll tell you, hey, Google Search Console says free truck parking is an opportunity. Create a blog post about free truck parking, put it on your blog, create a new offer for truck parking, put it on your AdWords, put it in your Meta and it'll do all that. So it'll go out, search your info. These are your Google accounts. Search your info, match it to your site, tell you what you need to do for the blog, tell you what you should suggest, what you should do for ads and spending. And it's always, no matter what it does, it's always like $1,000. So if your facility's only got 100 units, you're not spending $1,000. So scale it. Just because Claude tells you to do it, again, that's the human in the loop, doesn't mean it's a great idea. So I'm going to let this run. I'll cut this a little short, but this is going to it's going to give us the plan to build the ads. And if we got time, I'll show you how we've got the Kie plugin and the Canva API and the kie.ai, where you can use Canva and a brand you've created in Canva with all the assets for that brand. You can tell Canva, you can use Claude to tell Canva, use this brand page with all my photos and create my creatives for these ads. And it'll do that. It'll bring it back in. It'll add that creative to your ad account. And then it'll upload all the headlines, keywords, all this stuff. So here's the plan, right? So we've got the plan, your account self-storage, here's your context, tells you what to, I'm not going to go crazy through it one by one, but it talks about climate control, competitive posture, target campaign architecture, tells you what it thinks you should build. Like I said, I'm not going to go through. If this is a brand new, you do manual, does a 5-mile radius, brand defense. It goes a little bit further, core self-storage, RV, boat, account levels, site links. It does your site links for you, does your call outs for you, does your structured snippets, promos, call extension. Call extension depends on if you actually already have it put in there. And then meta ads. General water town. Yeah, there we go. So you got your meta ads, got your creatives, retargeting, and then it's got the plan. So that would do everything. So I'm running a little long on this one, but it just gave you, so it built a plan for the entire ad campaign. So you would go through there, tweak the pricing, and then you would hit auto accept. And then what Claude will do is it'll go build out that campaign. Once that campaign is done, you could tell it, okay, upload it to draft. If you've got the Google Ads API, if you got the Meta Ads API, upload it to draft. It'll go out to Canva. It'll build your creatives. It'll go out to kie.ai, build your creatives, and upload it for you. And then you go into AdWords, make sure everything's, give it a once over. I've got a team that goes in there, make sure, give it a once over. And this is something, if you have somebody on staff, if you've got a team member, if you've got a VA that's running your ads for you, this 10x is the number of accounts they can handle, because the gathering and analyzing of this information is 50 to 60% of the effort. If you can take care of the creatives, if you can take care of the split test creation, if you can take care of all gathering that and give it to a VA or give it to somebody on your staff, if you're a larger company, they can handle, you've got one person that can handle 10, where before they could only handle 2 or 20, and vice versa. So I'm going to cut this video short here. And in the next video, we'll go over how you can use Claude and Canva and Kie to do your creatives, and then push it up to Google Ads in draft.